At the gym, the guy on the treadmill beside me suddenly whispered, "Don't freak out, but I need you to take something out of my backpack. Now." I kept running, eyes forward, earbuds in. This was exactly the kind of thing my mother warned me about. Weird men at gyms creating situations. I increased my speed to 6.5, hoping he'd take the hint. "Please." His voice cracked. "I'm diabetic. Low blood sugar. I can't stop running." That made me look. The guy was maybe 35, athletic build, wearing a faded Cubs t-shirt soaked through with sweat. But it wasn't workout sweat. His skin had gone the color of old newspaper, gray and mottled. His legs were shaking so violently I could see the treadmill belt jerking beneath him. "Front pocket," he managed. "Glucose tablets, orange bottle." I hit the stop button on my machine and grabbed his backpack from the floor. My hands found the bottle immediately. He'd positioned it in the easiest possible spot, like he'd done this before. I twisted the cap and shook out 3 tablets. He took them without slowing down, swallowed them dry while maintaining a steady jaw working mechanically. 4 tablets total. I watched his throat work with each swallow. "Thank you," he said. Then, "Don't look, but there's a woman by the weight rack. Blonde, black Lululemon. She's recording this." I looked anyway. Couldn't help it. She was stunning. The kind of blonde that comes from a salon chair, not a bottle. Designer athletic wear that probably cost more than my monthly rent. And yes, phone up, camera pointed directly at us, not even pretending to hide it. "That's my ex-wife," the guy said. He was still jogging, still gray, but his voice had steadied slightly. "We're in a custody battle. If I stop running right now, if she gets video of me collapsed on this treadmill, I lose my daughter." I'd been going to this gym for 8 months. Planet Fitness on Roosevelt, the one that smells permanently like rubber and desperation. I came 3 times a week, usually around 7 p.m. after my shift at the hospital. I'm a phlebotomist, which means I spend my days finding veins and making small talk while people look away from needles. The gym was my decompression ritual. 45 minutes on the treadmill, podcast in my ears, brain finally quiet. I'd never spoken to this guy before, never even noticed him, honestly, which says something about how checked out I was during these sessions. Later, I'd learn his name was Derek Morrison, 5th grade teacher at Lincoln Elementary, divorced 8 months, daughter named Mia, 4 years old, obsessed with dinosaurs and Bluey. But in that moment, all I knew was that a stranger was asking me to participate in something that felt increasingly insane. "Get back on your treadmill," Derek said quietly. "Act like we're just talking, like this is normal." I should have walked away, should have grabbed my water bottle and headed for the locker room and let whatever domestic drama this was sort itself out. That's what any sensible person would do. Instead, I climbed back onto my treadmill and restarted it. "So," I said loudly, artificially bright, "how long have you been running?" Derek's shoulders dropped slightly. "Relief. About 6 months seriously," he answered, matching my forced casual tone. "Trying to do a 5K in under 25 minutes. The blonde woman, Vanessa, I'd learn later, was still recording. Phone steady, face blank. She wasn't even pretending to exercise, just standing there in her expensive athletic wear like a mannequin with a camera. That's a solid goal," I continued. My heart was hammering against my ribs. "What's your protein intake like? I find that really affects my performance." We talked like that for 15 minutes. Meal prep, workout splits. The best time to go to Costco for bulk chicken breast. Inane, utterly normal gym conversation. The kind of thing you'd overhear and immediately forget. Derek's color came back slowly, gray to pale to almost normal. His hands stopped shaking around the 10-minute mark. By minute 12, his pace had steadied. Vanessa recorded all of it. Didn't move, didn't blink, just stood there documenting, waiting for something. Finally, she lowered her phone, gave Derek one long, cold look, then walked out. Derek immediately hit the stop button on his treadmill, stumbled off, sat down on the floor with his back against the wall, head between his knees. "Jesus," he said. "Jesus Christ." I stopped my own treadmill, grabbed my water bottle and his, sat down beside him, maintaining a careful 2 feet of distance. "You okay?" "I had an incident at a parent-teacher conference 3 months ago." His voice was muffled against his knees. "Low blood sugar. I got confused, knocked over a chair. Nothing serious. I recovered fine. But Vanessa was there to pick up Mia. She recorded the whole thing." He looked up at me. His eyes were brown, bloodshot, exhausted. "She showed that video to the judge. Her lawyer argued I'm medically unstable, unpredictable, dangerous. They gave her primary custody. I get Mia every other weekend, supervised by her mother's choice of person." "That's insane," I said. "That's family court." He laughed, but there was no humor in it. "We're in the final evaluation period before the permanent custody hearing. One more documented incident, and I lose even that. It'll be supervised visitation at best. At worst," he stopped. "Vanessa's been following me for 2 months. Grocery store, park, coffee shop, always recording, always waiting for me to fuck up." I looked toward the gym entrance. "How did she know you'd be here?" "I don't know." Derek's hands were shaking again, but this time I didn't think it was the blood sugar. "This gym is 30 minutes from my apartment. I specifically chose it because it was far from anywhere she'd be. I thought," he stopped, swallowed. "She must be tracking my car, or my credit card. I don't know. Can't you get a restraining order? Her lawyer says she's a concerned mother documenting legitimate safety issues." His voice had gone flat. "The judge hasn't ruled on it. My lawyer says without proof of harassment, actual threats, not just showing up in public places, it's hard to prove." Derek pulled his phone from his pocket, opened his photos, showed me a picture of a little girl with dark curly hair and his exact same brown eyes. She was holding a stuffed triceratops and grinning at the camera with 3 teeth missing. "That's Mia," he said. "That was her 4th birthday, the last birthday I was allowed to attend. Vanessa scheduled this year's party during my my custody weekend, then claimed I'd refused to come. The photo was creased across the middle, like it had been folded and unfolded many times. You have no idea what you just did for me, Derek said quietly. If she'd gotten video of me collapsed, unable to continue, needing help, that would have been Exhibit A at next week's hearing. Her lawyer would have shown that to the judge and said, "See, he can't even make it through a gym session without emergency intervention." But you handled it, I pointed out. You knew what to do. You asked for help appropriately. That's not instability. That's good judgment. That's not how they'll spin it. He stood up slowly, testing his balance. But thank you. Seriously, I don't even know your name. Rachel, I said. Rachel Chen. Derek Morrison. He offered his hand. I shook it. His palm was still clammy, but his grip was steady. If you ever need someone to help you move furniture or fix a leaky faucet or murder a spider, I owe you. He meant it as a joke, something to lighten the moment, but his eyes were serious. I gave him my number. In case of emergency, I said. If you're ever in trouble and need a witness or whatever. Derek saved it in his phone under Jim Angel. Hopefully I'll never need to call, he said. He called 2 days later. The text came first. 11:47 p.m. on a Thursday. Derek Morrison. Hey, it's Derek from the gym. I'm sorry to contact you, but Vanessa filed a motion this morning claiming I required stranger intervention at a gym due to a medical episode. Her lawyer somehow knows about what happened. I think she had audio recording too. My lawyer wants a witness statement from you about what you actually observed. I completely understand if you don't want to get involved. This isn't your problem. But if you're willing, it could really help. I read it 3 times. Sitting on my couch in my pajamas, half watching a baking show, tired from a 10-hour shift, my first instinct was to delete it, pretend I'd never seen it. This was exactly the kind of mess I'd spent my entire adult life avoiding. Other people's drama, legal complications, messy divorces, but I kept seeing Mia's gap-toothed smile, that creased photo. Rachel, what would I need to do? His response was immediate. Derek Morrison, just write down what you saw from your perspective. What I said, what you observed about my condition, how I handled the situation. My lawyer will submit it with my response to her motion. You wouldn't have to go to court or anything, just a written statement. Rachel, okay, send me your lawyer's contact info. Derek Morrison, thank you. You have no idea how much this means. I wrote the statement that night, kept it factual, clinical, the way I'd write a patient observation at work. Time, specific details, objective descriptions. Derek appeared coherent and in control. He managed his medical emergency appropriately by requesting specific assistance. He remained capable of walking and communicating throughout. No indication of impairment or inability to function. Sent it to Derek's lawyer, a woman named Patricia Reeves, with an email signature that listed 15 years of family law experience. She replied within an hour. Patricia Reeves, thank you for this statement. It's exactly what we need. I want you to be aware that opposing counsel may try to contact you directly. If they do, you are not obligated to speak with them. If you choose to, please inform me first. Also, Derek mentioned his ex-wife was recording at the gym. Has she attempted to contact you? Rachel, no. Patricia Reeves, she may. If she does, do not engage. Document everything. That should have been my warning. The moment I should have realized this wasn't just helping a guy out, it was stepping into something that would consume the next 2 months of my life. The threatening text came 3 days later. 3:42 a.m. Unknown number. Unknown. Stay out of family business you don't understand. You're making it worse for everyone, especially the child. I screenshot it immediately. Sent it to Patricia. Sent it to Derek. Lay awake until dawn wondering if I should call the police. Derek called me at 7:15 a.m. I'm so sorry, he said. He sounded wrecked. This is exactly what she does. She intimidated my mom into not testifying. She sent my lawyer threatening messages from burner phones. She's done this to every single person who's tried to help me. Who is she? I asked. I mean, what kind of person does this? She's... Derek stopped. I heard him exhale slowly. Vanessa comes from money. Her dad's a commercial real estate developer. She's always had everything she wanted, always been able to buy her way into or out of any situation. When I asked for the divorce after I found out about her affair, she said no one leaves her. She meant it literally. She cheated on you and she got primary custody. She has a better lawyer, a $600 an hour lawyer from a firm that specializes in high net worth family law. I have Patricia, who's great, but she charges $200 an hour and I'm maxed out on credit cards paying her. Something in his voice made me ask, what did you do before you were a teacher? I was in grad school, engineering. I dropped out when Mia was born because Vanessa wanted me home with her, said she couldn't handle being a mother alone. He laughed, bitter. Turns out she couldn't handle being a mother at all. She hired a nanny when Mia was 6 weeks old, but she wanted me available, wanted control. At the gym that evening, 3 different people approached me. The first was Marcus, who I'd seen around but never spoken to. He cornered me by the water fountain. Hey, I heard someone asking about you the other day, he said. Blonde woman, designer gym clothes. Said you were her ex-husband's new girlfriend, and she was concerned about who was around her daughter. My stomach dropped. What did you tell her? Nothing. I don't know you. He shrugged, but she was asking around, showed people a photo of you on her phone, said you'd been stalking her ex. The second person was Jen, who taught the Tuesday kickboxing class. She pulled me aside after I checked in. Look, I don't know what's going on, she said, but a woman came by yesterday with a private investigator. They were asking the front desk staff about you and that guy you were talking to last week. Wanted to know if you two come here together, if you seem like a couple. We're not, I said. I'd never even spoken to him before that day. I figured. Jen lowered her voice. But she's building some kind of narrative. She She told the PI, "You're a person of interest in a custody situation." That's a direct quote. The third was the gym manager, apologetically asking if I'd be willing to answer a few questions from Mrs. Morrison's legal representative. About what? I asked. Your relationship with Derek Morrison, the nature of your interactions, whether you've been to his home or met his daughter. I gave his backpack glucose tablets when he asked, I said. That's the extent of our relationship. The manager looked uncomfortable. She's threatening to file a complaint claiming he's using this gym to meet women while he's supposed to be focused on custody compliance. She's saying you're evidence of poor judgment and concerning behavior. I went home and Googled Vanessa Morrison Chicago, found her Facebook immediately. Public profile, perfect life on display, luxury gym selfies, motivational quotes about strong women, photos from charity galas. Her relationship status said single. The most recent post was from 3 days ago. Sometimes protecting your child means protecting them from people who don't have their best interests at heart. Trust your instincts. Mom life. Blessed. The comments were all supportive. You're such a good mom. That baby is lucky to have you. Stay strong, hun. I scrolled back further. Found photos of Derek from before the divorce. Him and Vanessa at weddings, vacations, holiday gatherings. He looked younger, happier, less exhausted. Then the photos stopped. Nothing with Derek after 18 months ago, but plenty of photos with a different man. Tall, muscular, trainer type. The kind of guy who posts gym selfies unironically. His name was Chad something, because of course it was. I clicked on his profile. Found a post from 6 months ago. Moving day with my girl. New chapter. The photo showed him and Vanessa in front of a house, carrying boxes, looking coupley. Derek had said Vanessa claimed to be single in court, claimed she was focused entirely on Mia and wasn't dating, that she needed primary custody because Derek was unstable and she was the only stable parent. I screenshot everything, sent it to Patricia Reeves. She called me 10 minutes later. Where did you get this? Her voice was sharp with excitement. Facebook, it's all public. Rachel, this is gold. She swore under oath that she's not in a romantic relationship, said she's living alone with her daughter and completely focused on single parenting. This directly contradicts her testimony. So what happens now? Now we file a motion to show she committed perjury, and we investigate this boyfriend. If they're living together and she's been lying about it, that's fraud. That affects child support calculations, custody arrangements, everything. I felt something shift, some line I'd crossed without meaning to. I didn't sign up for this, I said quietly. I know. Patricia's voice softened. And I'm sorry you've been pulled into it, but you need to understand. Vanessa Morrison is a skilled manipulator with unlimited resources. She's not going to stop harassing you. The only way to make this stop is to expose her lies. That's how bullies work. They rely on people being too scared to fight back. I'm not fighting anything, I said. I'm just trying to go to the gym. You became part of this fight the moment you helped Derek. I'm sorry, but that's the reality now. She was right. I knew she was right, but knowing something and accepting it are different things. The next morning, I found my car keyed in the hospital parking lot. Deep scratches along the driver's side. Nothing taken, nothing else damaged, just deliberate, vindictive vandalism. Security footage showed nothing. The cameras didn't cover that section of the lot. I filed a police report knowing it was pointless. Called my insurance. Called Derek. I'm done, I told him. I'm sorry, but this is insane. She's escalating. She keyed my car. What's next? I don't know, Derek said. He sounded hollow. I'm so sorry. I never meant. I know you didn't mean for any of this, but I can't do this. I have a life, a job. I can't be looking over my shoulder wondering what she'll do next. Silence on the line. Then, I understand. Thank you for trying to help. I mean that. He hung up before I could respond. I lasted 4 days. 4 days of checking my rearview mirror constantly. 4 days of jumping at unexpected texts. 4 days of that scratched paint reminding me that Vanessa Morrison could reach me whenever she wanted. 4 days of thinking about Mia's gap-toothed smile. On the 5th day, I called Patricia Reeves back. I'll testify, I said. Court, deposition, whatever you need. Let's bury her. The custody hearing was scheduled for August 12th. Patricia filed the motion about Vanessa's perjury on July 28th, which meant we had 2 weeks to build the case. Patricia connected me with an investigator named Michael Torres, 23 years with Chicago PD, now working private family law cases. He met me at a coffee shop in Logan Square, showed me his credentials, and recorded our entire conversation. Tell me everything, he said, not just the gym incident. Every interaction, every text, every moment you felt threatened or followed. I told him the threatening message, the keyed car, the gym manager being pressured, the rumors Vanessa had spread about me being Derek's girlfriend. Michael took notes in a physical notebook, old school. Every few minutes, he'd pause the recording and say something like, that's witness intimidation, or that's defamation, or that's potential stalking. She's done this before, he said finally. I've seen her file. She had Derek's co-worker fired last year by claiming he was helping Derek hide assets during the divorce. Completely false. The guy lost his job, had to move back to Indiana, never got any apology or compensation. How is she getting away with this? Money and lawyers. Michael shrugged. She can afford to file frivolous motions. She can afford to hire PIs to follow people. She can afford to drag things out until the other side runs out of resources. It's warfare by attrition. What about her boyfriend? The one she's been lying about? That's where you come in. Michael smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I've been watching their house for 3 days. He lives there. His car is parked in the driveway every single night. They're playing house. And she's been telling the court she's a single mother living alone. That's perjury. That's fraud. He showed me photos on his phone. Vanessa Vanessa and Chad at the grocery store, loading bags into a house together, walking a dog, looking exactly like a couple living their best suburban life. Here's what's going to happen, Michael said. Patricia will depose Chad. He's not going to want to lie under oath. Most people won't commit perjury to protect someone else's custody case. He'll admit they're living together. Vanessa's whole narrative collapses. And then the judge realizes she's been lying this entire time about her living situation, about being focused solely on parenting, about Derek being the unstable one. Everything flips. It sounded almost too clean, too easy. What's the catch? I asked. The catch is that Vanessa isn't going to go down quietly. She's going to escalate, and you're already on her radar as someone helping Derek, so expect things to get worse before they get better. Michael was right. 2 days later, Vanessa filed a restraining order request against me. The petition was 10 pages long. It claimed I was Derek's girlfriend who had inserted herself into a custody dispute, that I had harassed Mrs. Morrison at her gym, that I had demonstrated erratic and unstable behavior, and that I posed a potential safety risk to the minor child. The request included a demand that I be prohibited from having any contact with Mia Morrison for a period of 2 years. I read it in Patricia's office. My hands were shaking so badly I had to set the pages down on her desk. This is insane, I said. I've never even met her daughter. I've never been to Derek's house. I haven't harassed anyone. I know, Patricia said calmly. This is a strategic move. If she can get a restraining order against you, even a temporary one, she can use that as evidence that Derek associates with dangerous people. It'll be, Your Honor, my ex-husband's girlfriend is so unstable that the court had to prohibit contact with our child. I'm not his girlfriend. Doesn't matter. She's creating a narrative. I had to get my own lawyer. Patricia connected me with a colleague, Jonathan Lim, who specialized in defending against frivolous restraining orders. He charged $300 an hour. I had $4,000 in savings. This'll cost about $3,000 to fight, Jonathan said bluntly. More if she contests, but I'm confident we can get it dismissed. Her petition is baseless. No evidence, no documented threats, nothing. $3,000. My emergency fund. Gone. Do it, I said. The hearing was scheduled for August 5th, 1 week before Derek's custody hearing. In the meantime, Vanessa's social media campaign began. She didn't name me directly. She was too smart for that. She posted photos of herself with Mia, captions about protecting your child from dangerous people, posted screenshots of text messages, heavily redacted, context removed, claiming to show harassment, posted a photo of herself at the police station with the caption, doing what I have to do to keep my baby safe. Mom's strong. The comments were predictable. You're so brave. That man is unhinged. I'm praying for you and your daughter. Someone in the comments asked what was happening. Vanessa replied, Unfortunately, I can't share details due to the ongoing custody case, but let's just say there are some very unstable people trying to interfere in my daughter's safety. The court will handle it. My parents got a letter. It arrived at their house in Naperville on August 2nd. Anonymous. Printed on plain white paper. No return address. Your daughter Rachel Chen is currently involved in a custody dispute with a violent and medically unstable man named Derek Morrison. She has been harassing his ex-wife and has been prohibited by court order from contact with his child. You should know who your daughter really is. My mother called me crying. My father called me furious. It took an hour to explain what was actually happening, and even then, I don't think they fully believed me. Rachel, this isn't your problem, my mother said. Why are you involved in this? Because it's the right thing to do. The right thing to do is to mind your own business. This woman sounds dangerous. She's going after you. She's harassing us. Please just drop this. I can't, Mom. Why not? Because if I do, he loses his daughter, and I'll know I could have stopped it. My mother was quiet for a long time. Then, you've always been like this, since you were little, always fighting other people's battles. This isn't a battle, it's just the truth. The truth, my mother said quietly, is rarely simple, and it's rarely safe. She wasn't wrong. On August 4th, the day before my restraining order hearing, I came home to find someone had gone through my mailbox, not stolen anything, just looked through it, moved things around, left it slightly open. I checked my Ring camera. No footage. Whoever did it knew exactly where the camera's blind spot was. I called the police. They took a report, told me there wasn't much they could do about someone looking in a mailbox. I called Derek. I need to ask you something, I said, and I need you to be honest. Is any of this worth it? Is fighting this worth destroying my life? No, he said immediately. It's not. If you want to walk away, I understand. I'll find another way. There isn't another way, is there? Probably not. I sat on my couch in my apartment, lights off, watching car headlights move across my ceiling, thinking about gap-toothed smiles, thinking about my keyed car and my emptying bank account and my parents' fear, thinking about the look on Derek's face when he said, I lose my daughter. I'm not walking away, I said finally. But after this is over, we're never speaking again. This ends at the courthouse. Fair enough, Derek said. The restraining order hearing lasted 20 minutes. Jonathan presented my case efficiently. No prior relationship with petitioner. No documented threats or harassment. No contact with the minor child. Single incident of providing medical assistance in a public place. Written statement provided at the request of legal counsel, which is every citizen's right. Vanessa's lawyer, a man named Richard Kessler with silver hair and a suit that probably cost more than my car, tried to paint me as obsessed. Claimed I'd been aggressively inserting myself into the family's private matters. Claimed my presence was destabilizing to the minor child. The judge, a woman named Sharon Patel with 20 years on the family court bench, cut him off. Counselor, I've reviewed the petition. There is no evidence of harassment. harassment, no evidence of threats, and no evidence that Ms. Chen has had any contact whatsoever with the child in question. This appears to be a strategic motion designed to influence the custody proceedings scheduled for next week. Your Honor, my client is genuinely concerned. I'm sure she is, but concern is not evidence. Motion denied. She banged her gavel. Richard Kessler's face went tight. Vanessa, sitting beside him in a conservative dress and minimal makeup, looked like she wanted to flip the table. Outside the courtroom, Patricia was waiting. She'd come to observe. That was perfect, she said. Judge Patel just sanctioned Vanessa's lawyer for filing a frivolous restraining order. That's going to look terrible at Derek's hearing. Good, I said. I felt hollow, exhausted. I just want this over. It's almost over, but it wasn't. Not even close. That evening, Vanessa showed up at my apartment building. I was getting my mail when I saw her, standing in the lobby, perfectly composed, designer jeans and a cashmere sweater, diamond studs in her ears that probably cost more than my monthly salary. Rachel, she said, can we talk? Woman to woman? Every instinct screamed at me to walk away. Call the police. Don't engage. But I was so tired of being afraid. Make it quick, I said. She smiled. It didn't reach her eyes. I just want you to understand what you're involved in. Derek has been manipulating you. He's good at that. Playing the victim, making people feel sorry for him. I'm not interested in... He's not stable. She stepped closer. Her perfume was expensive. His diabetes, his depression, his inability to hold down a real job. He's barely functional. And you're helping him fight for custody of a 4-year-old child who needs stability. She needs her father. She needs a parent who can keep her safe. Derek had a medical emergency at a parent-teacher conference in front of children. He could have hurt someone. He asked for help appropriately. That's what responsible people do. Vanessa's smile tightened. I'm going to show you something. She pulled out her phone, showed me photos. Derek's apartment, the interior, dishes piled in the sink, clothes on the floor, medication bottles visible on the counter, clutter everywhere. This is where he wants to bring my daughter every other weekend. This is the environment he thinks is safe. I looked at the photos. They were bad, really bad. The kind of mess that speaks to depression and overwhelm and someone barely keeping it together. Those were taken through his windows, I said. You've been stalking him. I've been documenting a dangerous situation. There's a difference. No, there isn't. I handed her phone back. You're harassing him because you can't control him anymore. This isn't about Mia's safety. This is about you punishing him for leaving. Something flickered across her face, just for a second. Rage, maybe, or recognition. He didn't leave, she said quietly. I told him he could stay if he'd just stop being so weak, if he'd just be the man I married. But he couldn't do it. And now my daughter has to suffer because he's a failure. You cheated on him. I found someone who could actually provide, who isn't diabetic and unstable and working a teacher's salary. Someone who can give Mia the life she deserves. You mean someone you can control. Vanessa's smile went cold. I came here to offer you $5,000 to recant your statement, to admit you misunderstood what you saw, to say Derek was more impaired than you realized. My mouth went dry. Are you bribing me? I'm compensating you for your time and trouble. You've been dragged into something unpleasant. This money could help with your legal fees, your car repairs, all the trouble I've unfortunately caused you. She said unfortunately like it had been an accident, like she hadn't orchestrated every single thing. Get out, I said. Think about it. $5,000. You write one email to the court. This whole thing goes away. I said get out. Derek tried to bribe his own mother, Vanessa said. Oh, sorry. I mean, I tried to compensate her. She refused too. Very noble. But she's not in the courtroom next week when my lawyer shows the judge exactly what kind of parent Derek really is. She walked toward the exit, paused at the door. You're making a mistake, she said. This isn't going to end the way you think it is. After she left, I sat in the lobby for 20 minutes, hands shaking, phone in my hand. I called Derek. She just tried to bribe me, I said. Your ex-wife was in my building. She offered me $5,000 to change my statement. Jesus! Derek's voice was strained. Did you record it? No, I didn't think. It's fine. Just write down everything she said. Exact words if you can remember. Time, date, location. Send it to Patricia. Derek, what is she? She's someone who's never been told no. Someone who's never had consequences. He exhaled slowly. I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry for dragging you into this. Stop apologizing. Just win next week. I'm trying. I wrote down everything. Every word of the conversation I could remember. Sent it to Patricia at 11:47 p.m. She replied immediately, this is bribery and witness tampering. I'm filing this with the court tomorrow. She just handed us her head on a platter. But lying in bed that night, I couldn't shake Vanessa's words. This isn't going to end the way you think it is. The final custody hearing was August 12th at 9:00 a.m. I'd been subpoenaed as a witness. I wore a conservative dress and flats, minimal makeup, pulled my hair back, looked as professional and credible as possible. Derek was already there with Patricia. He looked terrible. Dark circles, hollow cheeks, the look of someone who'd spent weeks sleeping badly and eating worse. He was wearing a suit that had probably fit him better a few months ago, before stress had stripped away weight he couldn't spare. Vanessa arrived with Richard Kessler and an entourage. Her parents, Chad the boyfriend trying to look casual in khakis, and 2 other people I didn't recognize but who looked official and expensive. She'd dressed perfectly. Soft colors, modest cut, pearl ear,